in doubt. We are in deep South Texas, where it's been raining off and on for days. It seems like a couple of weeks or something. And I think we're supposed to get rain for another 10 days or something like that. And then there's a couple of hurricane potentials out there. So who knows what's going to happen? Maybe we won't even be here in 3 weeks. I hope I'm not jinxing myself, right? Anyway, it's actually not that hot. It's about 84 degrees here right now, which actually is not bad for South Texas. I mean, we're typically 90s, 100. Of course, it's very, very humid out here right now. Let's see, got the old iPad here beside me. Let's share the hooch. The hooch, that's right, the live stream in other words. Should be posting up now. There we go. Should be out there somewhere. And something went wrong. What could have gone wrong? I don't know. Let's bring this up again here in front of me. It's asking me to take some sort of a survey. Do you guys get these when the live stream comes up? It says, which of these companies is most helpful artificial intelligence? Let's just say Google, just to make them happy. I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about the topic here. Welcome, anybody who's coming on, by the way. See, we've got a few people that have joined up. If you haven't, click that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up if you would. I would appreciate it. So, Toyota Tacoma improvements coming. There are some little things that you have to do with this truck, in my opinion. And if you didn't know, this is a 2024 Toyota Tacoma. It is the TRD Sport version. I would say it's a little light on the options. Kind of took what was available out there for what I was willing to spend, by the way. Would you get a new Tacoma TRD Pro? No, I would not. And welcome, Raymond. I would not, because frankly, Toyota has priced it above what I think its value merits. In other words, they're like 60 some grand, 50, high 50s, 60 some grand by the time that you're done with tax and all the other junk. So no, it's not worth it to me. There's not enough value in it. I mean, they're pushing it, honestly, with the TRDs and some of the upper prices that they're charging with all of the options and things on it. So they're getting a little bit out of control, in my opinion. And I think what Toyota is doing, you see, you want to charge as a business whatever the market will bear, right? I mean, that's simple economics. You want to maximize profit, charge as much as you can. And I think Toyota might actually be there. I think they are charging as much as they can. Probably a little bit high. Now, there's also a balance there in what people are willing to pay and then losing some market share. You don't really want to lose market share, I don't think, but you want to maximize profit. So if you can create less trucks, make more money, have less labor cost, increase your profit, they might be willing to do that. I don't know. And I think they're there. As much feedback as I'm seeing from people out there talking about pricing and stuff, I think Toyota is definitely there. So anyway, improvements that are coming. I've made one recently. These are going to be in the form of mods, of course, to the truck on the channel. I have been looking, and this one's pretty minor and doesn't apply to probably a lot of people, but a phone mount. Now, I know a lot of folks are going to say, well, you have those two spaces, and if you have the wireless charging, you already have a place to put your phone. Well, that's great, unless you're like me and you want it up in front of you. I like it to be in front of you, and you can have, of course, the phone with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You can have it synced to the infotainment screen where you can see everything there too. But I video, so I have to be able to have the phone up in front of me. And unfortunately, and this is one area that I think the third gen is superior, Toyota didn't give us a lot of places to put a phone in there, unless you want to try to stick it in with one of those mounts that grab onto the vent areas, which I think suck, by the way. I would never get one of those. Or a suction cup, and they really do suck too, because they never hold very long. If you're in a cold climate or really hot, the suction always gives way and then your phone falls down, right? A symbol I can't read says, hi from Thailand. Welcome. That's quite a distance. What time is it in Thailand right now? You like JDM cars? Sure. I'm assuming you're referring, well, for me, to Hondas. I'm a Honda fan. I've had Hondas for a while, off and on. Don't have one now, particularly the manuals. They're awesome. I don't think, unless you buy an SI, I don't think you can get a manual Honda anymore. 11:28 p.m. All right, so you're about 12 hours. You are 12 hours ahead of me. It's 11:28 a.m. here in deep South Texas. So anyway, I looked for a phone mount. I couldn't find one. I think there's one out there that actually would work pretty well, but I didn't get a response back. I actually contacted the vendor, asked them if they have an affiliate program, because I'm always looking to work with companies, of course, and they didn't respond. They just blew me off. I don't know. So I made my own. It's a homemade mount. Anybody can do it if you're looking for something like this. There'll be a video coming up on the channel showing how to do that. But the bigger thing is right down here, right under here. If you've looked under your truck, whether you've removed, if you have it, the air dam that's across the front, which I think is horrid looking anyway, you've noticed that there is a cheapo, almost cloth-like looking skid plate. It's garbage. It's thin. There's nothing to it. It's made of some sort of a, I don't know, composite material. I'm thinking maybe when Toyota made the beds for these trucks, because they're composite plastic, they probably have a byproduct, something that's left over. And somebody, some brilliant engineer decided that they could take advantage of that material and form a skid plate out of it and put that skid plate on the front. But it's junk. It's thin. It's flimsy. You can't tell me that it's going to protect from anything, right? It's got to go. And mine is going to go. I have something on order. Let me catch up on the comments here. I did a more in-depth video on that this morning, so it's going to be on the channel. Not going to give you a whole lot of detail, but I will tell you what I'm doing. Let's see. Froppy. I have a Honda Fit. It's been my daily driver for 3 years. That's good, and it'll last you for a lot longer. Gazo is giving us a flag, I guess. Another name I can't pronounce says 22:28 now. I guess that's the time. I have a question. I'm going to buy a 2011 Audi Q5. What are your thoughts? Audis, yeah, I unless I was buying a new Audi, I probably wouldn't buy an Audi at all. I've had Audis. I didn't have any problems with them, but I didn't have them very long, and I bought them brand new. Audis are expensive to fix, and I don't know that Audi's the most reliable cars out there, vehicles out there. So if I were you and I was to get one, I would make sure that you check into it, make sure that it's in good shape. Let's see. I love Toyota. Me too. I've had many. Froopy. My Fit had the same problem. I just took it off because it kept coming off in traffic. Right. You ever seen a car in front of you with something hanging underneath? It's this kind of stuff. I just took off the skid plate. It doesn't matter since I'm a city driver. That's good. Just don't run over anything that might flop up underneath there, you know? Piece of wood, big rock, some kind of piece of metal that somebody leaves in the road. You'd be surprised at what can get up underneath there. Get a Corolla. No, not looking for a Corolla. In Thailand, Audi is a luxury car. It's a luxury car here too in the US, in my opinion anyway. It's a luxury price, that's for sure. What does a new Audi, let's say an A4 or an A3, cost in Thailand? I'd be curious to know. Here, they're anywhere from 30 to 60 grand. 30 if you get one with like nothing on it. I'm talking about new. Probably closer to 40 now, actually. On up to about 60 grand in that class. Let's see. Toyota is simple and reliable car. That's for sure. That's for sure. Got to take a sip of the green nectar here. GR Sport 100%. Froopy. I used to have an Audi S4. They're reliable cars, just a pain in the arse to do maintenance on them, so people just neglect them. That's probably true. I mean, they're rather complicated under the hood. They're rather complicated anyway. I'll tell you something. On the Audi, I had an A4, and it had navigation in it, and I honestly never figured out how to use everything in that car. It was just so complicated. Probably doesn't help that I drove other vehicles too, so I really didn't spend, I don't think, enough time in that car to really learn everything, I don't think. So, probably partially my fault, but nonetheless, they're rather complicated. So back to the skid plate on the front of the Tacoma. It's gonna go, I have something on order already. What I've ordered is steel. I could have gone with aluminum, but for the money, I decided it wasn't worth an extra $100 for something I'm just gonna slap up underneath there, and you're probably never gonna see it anyway unless you're crawling under the truck. The thing I like about it, it has access for the oil filter, so you don't ever have to remove it. I've seen some skid plates out there that you actually have to remove to do an oil change. That to me sounds absolutely absurd. This has an area that gives you access. It is going to be powder coated, so it won't stick out. I'm not a big fan of chrome or silver or any of that kind of stuff. So I certainly didn't want any kind of chrome or silver under there. That's going to go as well. Or rather, it's going to be powder coated. Somebody said, like friends. I assume you're meaning like the live stream. In other words, give me a thumbs up. I appreciate that. Froopy, I got rid of the S4 because the serpentine belt replacement is an engine out job. Wow, that must cost a fortune. What does it cost where you're at to do that? I'd be curious. Michael Kokoza. Hi, Rob. Hey, Michael, how you doing? I hope your, what is this, Thursday? I hope your Thursday is going well. By the way, anybody who's just kicking on, if you wouldn't mind, click that subscribe button. I really would appreciate it. And we've only got 6 likes. I'm feeling neglected a little bit here. I might have to go back into the treatment center. That's where a lot of people thought I was. I was gone from here, from the Tacoma for about 2.5 months. And rumor is that I checked into some sort of rehab or something. Not true, not true. I was in Ohio, just visiting family, traveling around a little bit, stuff like that. So, you know, that's simply not true. But you know, when you see it on the internet, it's got to be true, right? I have another mod I shot a video on. This is purely cosmetic. It's worth absolutely nothing. And it's the front end. You may notice I'm missing something here. Did anybody pick that up? The front emblem here on the grill is gone. It's gone because I'm doing something with it. Right now it is drying. I painted it. I think in a live stream I did the other day, we kind of did a prep for that. I know I did. Did a prep for it, removing it and stuff. So it's ready to roll, man. Let's see. I'm trying to listen to you as quickly as I can because I'm practicing English. Well, your English seems to be pretty good in what you're typing anyway, so I think you're doing a good job. Chuck McDonough. I've been buying all my mods from Cali Raised LED, and they all fit great when I get them. I love them. Yeah, Cali Raised is a good company. I've bought a few things from them myself in the past. Always had good luck with them. Everything always fit well, and the parts were quality, so good company. There are several out there these days. They're one of them. Let's see. My Gen 3 is currently having the timing housing seal replaced. Bummer. And they gave me a new Gen 4 to drive while mine is getting worked on. And I must say, Toyota has gone backwards. I'm not impressed with the Gen 4. That is surprising to hear for me. What is it that you don't like about it? I haven't found really anything of any consequence that I don't like about the Gen 4. So please elaborate. What don't you like? I use Google Translation to listen to you. All right, so you're translating me into your language. I forget, you may have said earlier where you were from. I don't know. What language do you speak? Or what are you translating me into? I'd be curious. Michael, getting ready to go run a few errands in the 24 TRD Sport in Blue Crush. Awesome color, great truck. Michael, how are you liking the truck now? Are you still digging it? And what kind of fuel economy are you getting? I checked this morning. I went out for a ride to test a mod that I have done, and I was getting about 17.5. And that's pretty much city driving with a little bit of 55 to 60 thrown in. Michael Greffenstedt. Hopefully I pronounced that right. If I didn't, I apologize. When is the ZR2 coming? Haha. It's not. I mentioned that the other day in a video. You know, after being gone from the Tacoma for a while and coming back, the ZR2, other than a different look and maybe a little bit more power, doesn't really offer me anything more. It's less money, but I've already spent the money. And I'm going to lose money if I trade the Tacoma, right? Not to mention probably a lot of subscribers. So, excuse me, it doesn't make any sense to me to do it. I really do like the looks of the truck. I may still go drive one. That's the curse. Never do that. Never go drive a vehicle if you're not really wanting to buy it, because you probably are going to end up buying it. But anyway, probably not. Fruppy says, we also have a GMC Sierra diesel. The truck is a giant POS to drive, even though it's a reliable truck. I assume you mean just because of its size. Let's see, for you, if you had to choose between an Audi, BMW, or Mercedes, what would you choose? I'd choose Mercedes only because I really like the Mercedes. From a reliability standpoint, you know, all three of those have issues. You're better off to buy a Honda if you're concerned about reliability. If you're not, I would buy the Mercedes. I've had actually all of those. I had a BMW, it had issues. It seemed to be really good for like the first 3 or 4 months or so, and then it seemed to lose power and started making lots of noises, you know, fitment noises, creaks and things, drove me nuts. The Audis were good. I've had 2, and the Mercedes were good as well. I've had 2 or 3 of those. I never had any issues with them, but honestly, I didn't have any of those cars long enough, and one of them was used, and it was fine. I had no problems. I even did some mods to them. If you're curious, just search RobMotive Mercedes, I think, and you'll see what I've done, what I had done with the Mercedes. I actually pulled the whole front end off. Kind of a daunting task to do with the Mercedes, right? And replace the grille, but it all went well, no issues. Excuse me. Let's see. Uno, Roberto. Hey, brother. Uno, how you doing there, buddy? How you been? The interior setup and the look of the front end, I mean, driving it is still awesome. It's a Tacoma. But body style and interior I don't care for, so just cosmetic for me, nothing else. Hey, that's fair. I mean, we all have preferences when it comes to vehicles at all, right? Even just down to the color. So nothing wrong with that, and certainly you wouldn't want to buy something that you don't want. I think it's a good looking truck with the air dam off the front, with a lift on it, in the color that I have. I'm actually going to change out the wheels. I shouldn't have put them on to begin with. It was a mistake. They don't give me enough offset. I want a little more offset on the truck because I think it'll make it look more aggressive and tougher. And the truck's already starting to look pretty damn good in my opinion, but it needs that. Michael, yes, love it. Just hit 1,522 miles, getting around 22.4 in the city. That's pretty good. You must have a lighter foot. And remind me, do you have is it a 4x4 or 4x2? Uno, don't forget to subscribe and thumb up this young man's live, people. Hey, I didn't say it. Nobody can complain that every time RobMotive gets on, he's asking for subscriptions. Uno said it. I just happen to strongly agree. If you haven't, hit that subscribe button. And a thumbs up would be cool too, man. Haha, Mercedes for the rich in Thailand. Yeah, I mean, it is an upper echelon car, I think. But they can be had for decent pricing in the lower trim levels. And then, of course, used as well. Fruppy. It's not the size. The truck just feels so cheap and uncomfortable. It's a Denali too, so it's supposed to be the luxury version, but my arse always hurts after being in it for any amount of time. That means it has no padding. Maybe you need one of those egg crate pads or something to stick in there while you're driving around. I want to go to your country to see the Mercedes V8. Well, come on over. You can come to the country, I think. Let's see. Uno says, Rob, I know you missed the third gen with the manual. When you trading back? It's funny you mentioned that. I'm not trading back, first of all, and I would never go back to the manual. It just wasn't what I wanted. I've dogged the manual a few times. I know you like it. It's okay. It's just too notchy, clunky for me. With the pedal commander in it, definitely felt good, but I didn't really care for it, so it's not something I'd go back to. But it did cross my mind to pick up another third gen just for the sake of comparison between the two trucks. Modding, there still is more modding potential with the third gen, although things are starting to show up on the fourth gen now. But no, I don't have any plans to go get another third gen. As far as I'm concerned, and nothing wrong with the third gen, I love the third gen, but it would be a step back to go back to a third gen solely. Michael's got the 4x4, cool. I thought you did, I couldn't remember. Thailand only has JDM cars, but I like cars from Germany. Well, it sounds to me like you need to get a German car. I mean, why not? Uno says, manual for life, Rob. Yeah, I know you love it. It just wasn't, it didn't meet my expectations. And first of all, let me say, I'm pretty picky. I will admit it. I am very picky when it comes to how vehicles perform, how they feel, particularly when it comes to manual transmissions. Not just not my thing, that's all. I follow you. I like you very much. You read all the comments. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. The way I look at YouTube, if you're going to go to the trouble to watch my video, which I really appreciate, or join the live stream, and even go further to leave a comment, I owe it to you to respond, right? I mean, I know you don't have to be here. I know there are a bazillion other Tacoma and YouTube channels. I know there are umpteen millions, billions, I don't know, videos that are uploaded every day. So it is my pleasure to respond to any comments. Now, I'll put a caveat there. Obviously, if a comment doesn't warrant a response, I mean, if you go, I don't know, it's sunny outside today. Well, that's nice. I'm glad it's sunny where you're at, but I don't really have a response to that other than a thumbs up, something like that. I mean, I'm glad it's sunny where you are, but the other is the idiotic comments by those are usually removed anyway. By the way, if you weren't aware, YouTube will, let's call it quarantine comments that the system of the algorithm, I always pronounce it a logarithm, it's algorithm, deems to be inappropriate, and it can be comments that even aren't. So if you put a comment up and it seems to disappear, doesn't mean I deleted it or anything. It means it's in a holding tank somewhere until I see it and release it. However, if it's inappropriate language, content, it will get removed. I do that often. When you've got 40-some thousand people on and you get comments from people, there are some obviously that are going to be inappropriate because some people are just children. I don't know. Russ Volvo. I like Volvo cars. I have a Volvo XC70. There's a couple of Volvos that I like, but they've always scared me. I've always heard that they're not reliable, they're prone to problems, and it's always kept me away from the brand because I didn't want to buy something that was going to have issue. Have you had any problem with yours? And what year is it? Salsa Verde. Heel yeah. If I understand your language better, I would have a lot more knowledge about cars. Well, you got to keep practicing, joining forums like this, practicing your English, trying to understand what's being said before you have it translated, if you have any grasp at all. I know learning languages is tough, especially the older you get, I think. I took 4 years of French in college and 2 years in high school, and I still can't speak French. I understand the odd word here or there. I can say, je m'appelle Robert, my name is Robert. I mean, but that's about it. And you have to practice conversational language. When you go by the proper book form. Nobody speaks properly, you know, and a lot of words are run together and stuff. So you're going to hear a word that you have no idea what it means because it's not really a word, you know, like yabbit. Yabbit. What is yabbit? It's yes, but. Yabbit. Yes, but. Who the hell knows what yabbit is unless you're an English speaker? You wouldn't know. You'd be stumped. Yabbit. I'm going to go yabbit. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have to practice conversational English, not book English, because nobody speaks that way unless you're in an English class, you know. Let's see. Fruipy. Recently, I've been finding YouTube has been flaming critical comments for flagging, for approval. Yesterday, someone pointed an editing mistake I made, and that got flagged. Yeah, it depends. Again, it's a computer that's looking at these comments, and it'll even block some here during the live stream. It will block out comments, put them in quarantine for me, and then it will ask me if I want to release them. Hasn't happened at all during this live stream, but it has happened in others. So they will grab comments that they think are inappropriate, and I'm glad they do. I mean, usually they get it right. Typically it is a comment that I wouldn't let released. You know, I keep this channel PG-13 or less because that's how I want it. So, you know, crude comments, bad language, stupid stuff, it's not what I'm here for. There's plenty of other channels out there that are. Let's see. If you come to visit Thailand, contact me. I will take you on a trip. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I have no plans to visit Thailand, but you never know. You never know. Puppet Master 576. When comparing 3rd to 4th gen, what are 3 of the top upgrades that you've noticed? Acceleration, way better in the 4th gen. Road comfort, much smoother, rides a lot better. Seat comfort. The seats out of the factory are good. You don't have to put any kind of a seat riser or anything to bring the front up so that your thighs aren't being slaughtered by the front of the seat or not supported at all. Headroom, I'll throw a 4th in there for you. Headroom in this truck. Now, I've got the seat all the way up right now, and I have it all the way up because I'm doing an experiment. It seems to me like my seat lowers by itself, although I think I probably hit the lever every time I get in and out, so I'm actually physically lowering it myself. And it's still happening. I think that's why. But anyway, I've got the seat all the way up, and I still have, you know, probably about this much headroom between my head and the roof. And they did increase that. They increased it by, I think it was about 1 inch or 3 inches. I don't remember. It's why the truck looks like it has a hat on top of it. So those 4 things, that's what I would say. There are others. Muslim, Rob, why is my QX80 RPM playing while driving? Need help, bro. I have no idea. I'm not a mechanic. I don't know anything about that vehicle. It's not something that one could diagnose on a chat anyway. You need to take it to a shop, probably have it put on a machine by somebody who knows the vehicle, and that is definitely not me. Dalton Maddox, have you done any recent mods to the truck? Oh yes, there's been several actually that I've done, some that have aired, some that haven't. You may notice the emblem is missing from the front. I know that's a pretty minor thing, but there's something coming for that. I did a phone mount today. I know that's another minor thing. It's not like I'm lifting it 10 inches or something crazy, but nonetheless, these are mods that I do because I see benefit to them, either aesthetically or functionally. The phone mount thing that I actually made, it's homemade, is very functional for me. I tested it today and it's awesome. I have a mod, I have 2 mods coming. We're gonna take care of the cheapo skid plate that's under the front here. And then something else I'm not gonna disclose yet. Let's see, Dalton says, I joined a while back, 1 to 2 months ago. Thank you, Dalton, I appreciate that. And if you haven't joined the channel, click that subscribe button. I really would appreciate it. Dalton says, nah, don't say that's minor. I know it is. Nah, don't say that's minor. I know is. I'm not sure what you mean there. It is pretty minor. I mean, we're not talking about some big functional mod. But not every mod has to be big and functional, right? Do what you like. That's what I do. That's what makes it fun. John Caganio. I know I've messed up your name before. Hey Rob, does the 4th gen have the same issue with the AC drip on the frame like the 3rd gen? You know, I haven't really noticed. I will when I do a mod that's coming up because I'll be under the truck. I haven't noticed, but that's a good question, and I imagine it probably does. But we shall see. I'll have to get under there and take a look. So stay tuned. We're gonna find out. John says, "Hey Rob, does the 4th gen?" I read that. Fruppy, what are you gonna do with the truck when you're done modding it? Take it off-roading or to some event? Who knows? You know, the one thing about what I do is you never know what's around the corner. I'm not opposed to taking it off-roading if there was somewhere nearby to go, but there isn't. I'm not opposed to taking it to the beach. That is something that I could do. I haven't done yet. So I don't know. Taking it to a show. Shows are fun too. Events. Maybe. I don't know. Just depends on what comes up. Do you like the Civic Type R? I do. I've had one. I've had two. The first one I had, I hated. It was a 4-door. I think they're all 4-door anyway. But it was now. I didn't like it, but the second one I did. And the reason I didn't like the first one is because you had to get it into the higher RPM range to get anything out of it, and I really didn't like that. Dalton, but yes, like you said, it makes it functional and more enjoyable for you. Absolutely, and that's the key. You got to do mods that you enjoy and things that make the vehicle better for you, not the things that other people tell you you should do, unless they're buying. I mean, you know, if somebody wants to buy me a mod, I mean, I'll probably install it unless it's something stupid. I mean, I'm not going to put, you know, pink Tacoma lettering in the back of my truck. Nothing wrong if you like it, but it's not my thing, you know. Let's see. Alec Freyas, are you going to do 35s and new wheels? I've already done new wheels and tires. I am not going to do 35s. That would just bog the truck down too much. While they do look good, not something that I'm interested in. I do need more offset. And so there most likely will be new wheels coming down the road. Dalton, exactly. And my bad on the last message, I messed it up. It's okay. I try to, you know, understand. Fruppy, not every mod has to be big and functional. I tell people that to justify the $2,000 carbon fiber, wait a minute. I tell people that to justify the $2,000 carbon fiber hood on the Fit. Exactly. You spent $2,000 because you like it. It serves no function other than maybe it's a little bit lighter, I guess. But unless you're a race car driver or a drag strip runner, it probably makes absolutely no difference. Joe, stop Rob Mall Caller. Stop Rob Mall Caller for life. LOL. I haven't been to a mall in years. Do they have malls where you're at? Do you visit them often? I don't know, because I don't go to malls. So you'll have to let me know. I can't speak to that. F15, F15. I'm not sure what you mean there. John, I'm guilty of it too. I see. So you go to malls. We don't have malls here. Well, we do. We have a mall, but it's on its way out. Most of the stores have gone. It's basically vacant. What do you do at the mall? I mean, drive around the parking lot? That would be fun in the winter if you had a lot of snow. I used to go to big open parking lots when I lived in a winter climate. That was pretty fun because you could get up some speed, do some donuts and stuff. That was a blast. So yeah, the malls do have a benefit, I guess, when it comes to winter driving. But, and yes, I know what you're saying. My truck is an asphalt queen, a pavement princess, a mall crawler, something that has never seen the dirt. Will it see the dirt? I don't know. It's a little dirty now. I don't know if it will in the future. We'll find out, but I know what you're talking about. Fruppy, most malls are closing. The last one in my country was just torn down. Fruppy, where are you from? You say your country. Or, no, I'm sorry. You said your county. See, I can't even read. Bookie, can pickup trucks increase horsepower? Can pickup trucks increase horsepower? Any vehicle can increase horsepower. Depends on what you do to it. I mean, you know, So yes, I guess the answer to your question is yes, but that's true of any vehicle. John, it's way, let's see, it's way in Jersey. We make fun of guys, wait a minute. We make fun of us guys with trucks that are ready for off-road and don't see the dirt. Well, if it makes you feel better, I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. See, I admire trucks that are fixed up and look good. I don't really care if a guy's taking it off-road or not, because frankly, you know, the cars or the trucks that look the best, that are really modded out, fixed up, have a ton of money in them, they're not taking those things off-road. Who the hell is going to spend 5, 10, 20, 40, $50,000 on modding a truck and then take it off-road and beat the hell out of it? That just sounds counterproductive to me. I don't know. John, beat me to it. Fruipy says, Kern County, California, I'm there right now. Awesome, gotcha. Yeah, I thought I read country when I first saw your comment. Vincent Turo, Salt Life stickers add 10 horsepower. Yeah, right. Wouldn't that be nice if you could just buy a sticker, slap it on your truck, and increase the horsepower? Wouldn't that be cool? I think that would be awesome. Bookie, what do you think about the Subaru Impreza? Never had one. I like them. I had been to a couple of car shows a while back, and man, they had some really nice ones there, blacked out, and they had kind of a shadowing, it must have been a wrap. I don't know what it was, but it almost looked like it was kind of engraved or painted into the paint. Real subtle, but in the right light, you could see this shadowy design. I mean, it was freaking awesome. And they're fast. You know, you can still get them, I think, or could. I don't even know if you can get them. I'm assuming Subaru's still making a manual. But I honestly don't know. Manuals are such a dying breed. And speaking of manuals, you know, I was shocked when Toyota put out the new Tacoma and had a manual transmission in it. I could not believe it. I predicted that the manual was going to die with the 4th gen Tacoma, that Toyota was in no way going to put out a manual, but they did. And what I'm really curious about, I need to drive a manual Tacoma, because I'm wondering if they improved the transmission at all, or if they merely reused the manual transmission and put it in the new Tacoma. I don't know. I can't imagine that they created a new transmission for something that really is dying, but maybe they did. Alec Freyas, you need a matching red Supra. Nah, I've sat in the Supra. I've not driven it, but I've sat in it. Supras are made, I'm going to offend somebody I know. So if I do, I don't mean to, I apologize. But Supras are made for 16-year-old short, skinny boys. That's what Supras are made for, because somebody like me, I'm 5'9.5". I'm not toweringly huge. 5'10.5" with shoes on, and about 184 pounds. Yeah, I know, I need to lose some weight. Everybody always tells me that. You know, the internet is brutally honest. Look at that fat guy. I feel good. Anyway, 16-year-old short, skinny boys, because that's all that really fits in them comfortably. I climbed in that car, and I gotta say, the bolstering of the seat, way too tight. I'm like this, because the seats are pushing my shoulders in. So you gotta be narrow and skinny, right? So you jump in that car, you're like this in it, you gotta shift, right? You can barely get, and you're sitting on the ground, you're looking up, there's a semi up there, feels like I could go under it, right? There's a semi up there. You're this little, it's like a Mazda Miata. I've had 3 Miatas in my time. Talk about tight. Not as tight as the Supra, but I've had, nor as smaller than the Supra anyway. But I can't stand driving around feeling like I'm sitting on the ground. It's something that I guess I've developed over the years. You know, I've driven plenty of sports cars, everything from the McLaren, Porsches, you name it, I've driven them. And you're always laying on the ground. Now, those cars are fun to drive for what they are, but still, they're very, very low. Let's see, Fruipy says, Subarus are kind of a pain to work on. My dad's WRX likes eating brake discs. Well, that's probably because he's going too fast and he's got to slam on the brakes. That's why it's eating brakes. But he's having fun driving it, right? Bookie 488. What about the Mitsubishi Evo? Another great car in that class. You know, those are all the hot little cars, right? You've got the Civic Si, you've got the WRX, the Impreza, the Evos. Might even throw the Volkswagen Golf into that, the GT, or the what is it, the Golf R, I think it is. Might throw that into it as well. Maybe the little BMW 3, the hopped up version. All those cars are fun. But again, they're good to drive if you don't own them. You know what I'm saying? They're good to drive if there's somebody else's car. And then you can get the hell out of it, jump into your truck, something bigger, more space, more room, more footprint, jump in that thing and take off. Just much better in my opinion. Anyway, let's see. Bookie says, for me, the Subaru Impreza and Evo are the best competitors on dirt roads. Well, that's a whole nother thing. You're talking about a whole different class there. I assume you're talking about racing off-road on those tracks. That is going to be completely different, something I've never done. Fruity says, personally, I think the Hyundai Elantra N or Velociter N belong up there with those Evos and STIs. Maybe. I mean, the Velociter, you know, and the Elantra, they're bigger. You know, the other cars, the other was the Mazda 3, the Speed. I don't know that Mazda makes that anymore. I've had two of those, the Mazda 3 Speeds. Those things were definitely in that class, and they were a blast to drive, man, and fast. The only problem with them is once you spooled out the turbo, you were done. There was nothing left. I almost lost one once. I was kind of racing somebody, getting on the freeway. I won, by the way. At least I got on first. But I hit the gas at the light, and the damn thing, when I shifted from first to second, or maybe it was second to third, started to spin, to lose it, right? Was able to maintain it. It wasn't a big deal, and then it was gone. Once I'm on the freeway and I'm to the floor, there's nothing left. Turbo was spooled out, no more power. Bookie says, if you had to choose between a Subaru Impreza and an Evo, what would you choose? Probably the Evo. I like the Evos myself. Don't have any experience with them, never driven one. But I like the looks of them, so that would probably be the winner for me, is the looks of it. Although the Impreza is not horrible either. I don't know. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to cut this off. I really got on to talk about, Bookie says I would choose the Subaru. Really got on to talk about the Tacoma, but I never limit these chats to anything. Talk about whatever you want. I don't really care. Fruppy says, let's see. Mazda Speed 3 isn't being made anymore. The Velociter N is really nimble. A lot of people surprised that Hyundai has an extremely successful racing program. Yeah, me too. Bookie says, or Bookie rather, ha 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 ha. Anyway, guys, gals, anybody that maybe watches this after the fact, appreciate you being here. Again, if you haven't, smash that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Just kind of helps out the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. Have a great rest of your day and enjoy the weekend. We'll see you next time.